Welcome to the Charles Eoghan Show. Welcome, Eoghan. Good to see you.
Thanks. All right.
Welcome back from last week. I feel like the first podcast was a great success.
Yeah, great success. Very nice.
Good feedback.
Yeah.
How do you think it went? You had some fun?
I don't know. I didn't see how many views we got.
Oh, I didn't report back to you. I think we did okay. I think we had like 60 downloads, perhaps more.
Really?
Yeah, it's
actual
not bad.
downloads.
Yeah, actual downloads.
Rather than
more.
just streaming it.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
So I should actually.
What do people do with their fucking time? Fucking waste of time. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's
Okay,
let's get to it.
So people have asked you some questions.
Yeah.
What question do you want to answer first?
All right. We're just gonna go in chronological order.
Okay.
So, muscle effects on cardio in jiu-jitsu. So we kind of got asked that last time. Go on. You want to do this? This is more your domain.
Muscle effect
on cardio in
muscle
jiu-jitsu.
effect on cardio in jiu-jitsu. Okay, I guess like when you're doing jiu-jitsu,
Go on.
Well, it just involves a lot of like muscle endurance.
Yeah.
So actually, this is so one of our friends, well, my friend, you know him, Dan Cronin.
Yeah.
He was like, I like the way you answered the question, but you didn't answer the question like about the gas tank for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, well, like improving your technique and strategy, that will like reduce your energy costs.
Oh yeah.
But it's not actually going to improve your gas tank.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like overall, yes, to improve your actual gas tank, you do need to do some kind of like conditioning work.
Yeah.
However, but by having better technique and a better tactics, you're going to be saving energy, so you can actually work harder and like when you get to a submission, squeeze harder.
More effectively.
Exactly, be more effective. So I guess, and then he asked me a question, so conditioning wise, do you think it's worth it doing air dye intervals, rowing intervals, etc.? I said, no, mate. Like what you should be looking to do is like how we train, as an example, using weight training in forms of supersets, cluster sets, and like, you know, when like as an example, like Bulgarian split squats mixed with some kind of pressing overhead movement. It's very tiring.
Yeah.
You're doing like 3 sets of like 8 to 12 reps in a Bulgarian split squat.
Yeah.
It is awful. It sucks. And your heart rate's gone, working very hard, you're out of breath, and then superset that almost immediately into another exercise. You're like, man, I'm gassing here.
Okay, so that's normal then.
Do you see what I mean? Yeah, you should be tired.
Okay. I was just told once that you shouldn't be breathing heavily by some moron in France.
I love that story. That guy has no idea about like any kind of like energy output. He's like,
heavily,
this is
what's
an
that?
easy exercise, brother. Like the intensity. So it's like the intensity that you're working at and the work capacity that you can create via weights training with supersets, manipulating rest periods is very useful, and that way you can actually increase your overall aerobic capacity. Whereas like, look, you're doing lots of jiu-jitsu throughout the week, and a lot of the jiu-jitsu competitors, they're very busy with their jiu-jitsu schedules. It's not an optimal use of time to go to, well, it may not be an optimal use of time to be spending all that time on the rower or an air dyne, when you can just be getting super strong. To answer this question, muscle effect on cardio in BJJ, like it's a muscle endurance sport. You want to have good muscle endurance to squeeze, to have good balance, athletic coordination. Like something about you is like you're very well balanced. Your coordination of like balancing and squeezing at the right time is.
I guess he's also asking like if you're too muscly, is that going to affect your
too jacked?
Yeah, if you're too jacked. Is it going to affect your cardio? And probably,
yeah.
It just affects your mobility so badly that you can't even do moves normally, properly.
Yeah, I mean, look, like if you're absolutely gigantic.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at your buddy. Who's that? Mark. That giant Scottish
Mark
guy.
McQueen.
Crushing people.
Yeah.
He was like an elite level powerlifter. Obviously, he's not going to maintain that elite level powerlifting weight.
Yeah, he's doing all right though, to be fair.
He's doing great.
I still see him posting some powerlifting videos and it just looks ridiculous.
He's super strong, but he's not going to be lifting anywhere near to his competition weight. But if he can stray within like 70 to 80% of what he's lifting at like a powerlifting meet.
He felt ridiculously strong. I honestly felt there was nothing to do against him.
Just grips.
And he wasn't even necessarily trying that hard, so fair play to him. He did like 2 sports in one just by getting fucking strong.
He's so strong.
All right, cool. Okay, muscle effect on cardio BJJ. Next one.
What we got next?
What can we do to make BJJ spectator friendly?
Say again.
What can we do to make BJJ spectator friendly? So
give me that phone.
Christian was saying that you need to do takedowns, but I think that's already a sport. That's already wrestling or judo.
Spectator-friendly. Is he saying that BJJ is boring to watch?
Yeah, in reference to the WNX and the 2-hour match that they had.
Oh.
So everyone wants to see submissions, but the only way you guarantee a submission is submission only, and then that can be fucking boring.
What happened to the EBI tournament? Do you remember how it was like Craig Jones and Gordon Ryan? They start like wrestling. They start from certain positions.
But people don't like that because it's like, well, how did you get? You can just stall and then wait for the overtime round.
Yeah.
So it's submission only is the only way not to like game it, basically.
Okay, I'm gonna say something. It's gonna be controversial, I think. But like, I went to the UFC last night, which was fun. By the way, UFC crowds are always interesting crowds. It's always a very aggro, hostile vibe.
That's nice.
In the stadium,
Toxic.
which is toxic. Anyway, what's interesting about UFC is to say like Molly the Meatball, Paddy the Baddy, like their intent to get the finish is so fucking strong.
Yeah.
Like they're there to like they're there to finish. Do you know what I mean? They really won't try to accept anything less. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, in some of the fights, the guys like, look, this is me like classic armchair comment. Like, oh, get out of the guard, try and pass the guard. Like, do you know what I mean? Some guys would literally sit in close guard and like, dude, this is your fucking career, man.
I guess if you just make the prize money crazy.
Where's the urgency?
Yeah. Where's the urgency?
I guess like people should just try and have like, again, super easy for me to sit here and say, but like more fucking urgency from BJJ like fighters.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I guess people don't complain when it's an exciting match and there's no submission. They just complain when it's fucking boring and there's no sub. So
yeah, but like
it's a stylistic thing, but also
who do you think's exciting to watch and why do you think it's exciting to watch?
Well, I just like guys that are basically guaranteed to get a submission. Someone like Gordon is just good to watch because
obviously Gordon Ryan. Who let's
okay, people that aren't Gordon, people that aren't like super dominant like
Ash
that.
Williams.
Like Ethan Crelinson.
No, but he's exciting to watch because you usually get a submission, no?
Ash Williams. No, he doesn't. He's a fucking decision machine. He knows he's a decision machine. He doesn't give a shit.
Who else?
But he's still exciting because he still pushes pace all the time, like in a legit manner, not just like running around for the sake of tiring someone out. He's always pushing like technically to get to the back and finish. So that's good, but he doesn't finish that many people because I guess the timing's too short. But who else is exciting? Like, I'll just say anyone who I reckon is technically good and like is hunting their opponent is exciting. And then people that are boring and people that are just trying to win on points or just win by technicality or win by like waiting for their partner to fuck up and then catch them out. Yeah.
So I guess it's tricky to answer this question. So it's like, you don't want to have this unlimited 2-hour match because like no one's going to fucking watch that. So it's like maybe just...
But people watch cricket and cricket's so dead. Cricket is like fucking 2 days or something.
So this is like also the crux of the question. It's like, how about this person who asked the question, just get better at BJJ so you have a better idea.
Why don't you just understand it better, you fucking morons? No, but yeah, genuinely, I was actually speaking to someone the other day and they said that like the spectators of jiu-jitsu are like hobbyists, white and blue belts, people who actually do the sport, whereas football is just, pub men who don't necessarily play football.
Yeah, no.
So yeah, it's just a smaller pool of spectators, and
I feel like it's growing though. It's growing a lot more.
Yeah, it's harder to understand than other sports, so you need to actually be involved.
Yeah, like as opposed to MMA, whereas like MMA, like you can understand like, oh, he's trying to beat the shit out of this person, or he's trying to punch him in the face. It's easy to tell who's winning. Whereas jiu-jitsu for like a novice white belt or blue belt, it's like, oh, the guy on the top is winning right now. It's like, well, he's about to get.
I guess if it's a close match, it's hard to tell who's winning.
Yeah.
So if it's not, but even in MMA, if it's close, you look at them like, who's actually? I can't tell if someone's winning if it's striking exchanges, for example.
But you get the general gist of it.
Yeah, but sometimes it's equal. Sometimes it's pretty even.
Yeah.
And there's no way to tell. But yeah, you get the general gist. To be fair, you can see if you're concentrating, you can see who's actually landing. Whereas jiu-jitsu, if you're concentrating, you still might not get who actually is pushing pace. I feel like some people are masters at looking like they're actually winning when they're completely losing.
So you don't think that EBI kind of transition where it's like almost penalty shootouts for jiu-jitsu is useful?
Nah.
Because it's like people get stally.
Yeah, because then you can just game it again and just be really good at the EBI bit of it. That's how Craig Jones got tapped by Mason Fowler twice, because he just stalled and waited for the overtime and then just got a body triangle and bridged on his back.
You know what, man? People should just stop fucking stalling. That's what they should do.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's for money. Do what you want. Like, I'm sure Mason Fowler got paid handsomely.
Win the match.
Yeah, he won the match. He got paid handsomely. He's a good man.
What's next? Most annoying.
type of guy to compete against. Probably that kind of slapped the back of my head 50 times.
Oh, the big gearhead.
Yeah, he had a big gearhead. Well, who knows if he's on gear, but he had Batman tattoos on his triceps, so
That's huge.
he's probably on gear.
But you leg locked him straight at
No, well, as soon as he's tried anything but collar tying me, I leg locked him, yeah. But yeah, he literally, I went back and watched it because I was salty. He collar tied me 55 times in a 6-minute match.
I remember you training, 5 days after, like my neck is still sore.
I was still fucked, yeah. I felt like I was genuinely whiplashed from him. Pause. But yeah, I genuinely felt whiplashed.
So most annoying are people who just hard clubbers.
Yeah, just like a weird strategy that's not really trying to do jiu-jitsu.
Spazzy.
Like, yeah, if you clearly know that there's such a huge area of jiu-jitsu that you're lacking in, that if you even stand up with someone, you're going to get subbed. Like, don't even compete. Just go and improve at jiu-jitsu and then come back and then start competing. Or just go out there and lose like a man. Don't just sit there on your knees and try and club the back of the head.
Do you think it's important for people to compete in jiu-jitsu? Say someone who's really keen at doing jiu-jitsu and they're like, I want to improve. Okay, so let me ask you again. Yeah. Do you think there's benefit in people competing in jiu-jitsu?
For improvement?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I feel like it filters out a lot of things that you might do that are inefficient or like things you think work because it's working in your gym. And it also shows you what you don't know. Like if someone just does some random technique you've never seen before and you tap, that's it. You've learned very quickly how bad you are.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and also it can help with your own confidence if you win against someone you might not have expected to win. Then that's great.
Yeah.
And then if you lose against someone you thought you could beat, then that's like a reality check as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots of reasons why I would think competing is good. It's just. I think the title is less important than actually who you're competing against. So all the for example, IBJJF competitions, that doesn't mean anything if there's not good people there.
Yes.
So for example, the last one, there was good people there. So that would be a good IBJJF competition to win. But if you're doing London Open and there's 4 people and they're all shit, then you basically may as well just have done anything.
Yeah. So the merit is just go compete. If it's within your interest. I think it's an interesting point because sometimes it's like if you're training hard and the whole room is getting better, you're like, I feel like I'm just constantly shit because the whole room is always getting better. So when I go out and compete, it's like, oh, I'm actually winning. I won double gold. I'm actually getting better, but it doesn't feel that way because the room around me, when I train with you, I'm shit.
But it's because of the training volume, I guess. If you're training in a room with people and you're all training exactly the same, then you'll improve at the same rate. But if you're doing extra sessions, you'll just pull away from them over time, and then that'll be it.
Yeah, of course. But let's say you're constantly training with that room, and they're all pulling on the training volume. It's I don't feel like I'm getting any better. You go to a competition, you win it, you smash everyone. You're like, oh fuck, I realize I actually am improving.
Yeah.
It's a good point of reflection.
You can kind of compete by just going and visiting. If your point is just to compare yourself against other people.
Open mat. Yeah,
you can just go to open mats, and you don't have to spar like you're competing, but you can just spar normally, and that's a better representation of how good you are than if you can
that's a good point.
Just use loads of energy for 6 minutes and technically win in that 6 minute, because it's only 6 minute look into your whole jiu-jitsu training.
Yeah.
If you think about it, so you've got to judge someone based on 6 or 10 minutes, when a better way would be let's go for a week's worth of rolling and we tally up all the subs at the end of it and then see who's got the most subs.
Yeah.
That would be a more better average way of doing it than just 10 intense minutes of tactical play.
Did you study economics at university?
Yeah. You could tell. Got a third. No less.
Those metrics, man.
Yeah, no less than a third.
Right.
Okay. So long story short, people that stall and club you in the back of the head are bad.
They're the most annoying.
Yeah,
okay.
All right.
Telling your coach, what does it say?
Telling your coach you want to change gyms.
Oh.
You just have to go, buddy.
Some people get really weird. They're like,
why do you even have a coach? Just get on YouTube. Just get on YouTube and do your own shit. Realistically.
This is a good point, we were talking about last week as well. It's how did you get better? You watched a lot of YouTube and would go practice that.
Yeah.
With
whatever. Just
try and super friends.
Try and sub as many people as possible, and then if you're having trouble subbing people, then Google how to sub people better. And obviously, if you have a coach, they can streamline the information. But for the most part, if you have a coach and if you feel like they're not good and you feel like they're kind of not sparring with you or not teaching you what you want to teach, then
Yeah.
Just leave. You owe them nothing.
100%.
You owe them nothing. You already paid them the money. So after that, it's like, we're even now.
Yeah, it's such a good point. People get
Yeah.
like really salty. They're like, oh, like gym loyalty, like you have to stay because you started training with us. You should stay with us first. Like, mate, like this exactly the point we just talked about. A gauge to get better is like, I want to go test myself with some open mat.
Yeah.
Just because I want to go do that doesn't mean I'm leaving this gym forever. Or even if you do want to leave forever, fine.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
So actual
See you
useful
later.
advice for this particular person telling your coach you want to change gyms. It's nothing personal. It's just business. Just have
leave.
to go. Business as usual. You just have to go. Yeah. Or you can just leave and just never show up again. Basically. But yeah, with social media, they're just gonna message you like, "Are you okay?" sort of thing, and then you're gonna have to tell them.
Just better look.
Just lie and say anything. You just say, "Oh, my work changed. Everything's upside down right now."
Everything, just the excuse. No, just be like, look, man, I want to go try some other gyms, go test myself against other people.
Yeah, just see what it's like. And anyway, you don't have to commit to changing gym. You can say that I'm just going to see what the other gyms are like, and I might come back, or I might not. And that's like a more fair way, rather than saying I hate this gym so much, I'm anywhere but here is good. Then you just say like, I'm just going to see what other gyms are like, and then I might come back here, might not. Then there's no pressure to leave or not to.
Yeah, and a good coach would be like, of course.
Yeah, see you later.
A good coach can actually ask for feedback. Hey, do you think there's anything we can do to improve?
Anyway, MMA. Am I going to switch to MMA?
I think that'd be an awful career decision for you.
Yeah, no thanks. I'm good. I'm doing all right in jiu-jitsu and I'm not getting punched in the face. And MMA is hard. Like
It's different.
You got to weight cut. I don't like weight cutting. You got to, travel a lot. I don't like all of that. You got to be on point like every single day. You get way more injuries. I just don't. You get more money, but you can basically make enough money off jiu-jitsu to be happy. So, fuck that. You?
I did MMA. I've actually had.
Oh yeah, okay.
I actually had like 5 amateur MMA fights.
And how'd it go?
Good, but it's
Okay.
I mean, it's just awful getting punched in the face, man.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, like-
Lest we forget, you've got to actually be punched in the face. Like,
Man.
yeah, you can't tap midway through a punch. That's it. Once it's coming, you gotta just.
Well, my first Thai boxing fight, I got all my friends there, and it was out in like equivalent to like some like chavvy English town. It was
Yeah.
a punch bowl in Sydney, which is like super rough, full of
Yeah.
full of.
Is that the name? Punch
It's
Bowl.
called Punch Bowl. Yeah.
Man.
And like
The town.
the town's called Punch Bowl. Just to give you an idea, one of the shout outs that the guy was giving to me, he's like, "Kill the fucking white dog!"
Oh
in
my
the
God.
crowd. Yeah. So that was filled anyway.
Go far.
I was doing all right in the first round, and then I took a massive uppercut and a knee to the face, and my nose was like. And this is like amateur. This is like amateur fight.
for
and I was-
free.
For free.
For free.
For free. And after that,
Just
I
for
was like, I don't really
entertainment.
want to do this again.
Yeah,
man. It's not
you were
that
quite
fun.
right. So yeah, long story short, leave that to
Leave that to
people
the
with like
pros.
real psychological problems.
No, honestly, I think to do MMA, like you gotta be. There's.
You have to be like deeply religious or like deep psychological problems, basically. I just cannot,
it's very
For
intense.
me, it's to be fair, you could just do it for a shitload of money. That would be a lot. Like, I do like one, let's face it, I do like one MMA fight, and if I knew I'd win it as well, 100% I'd do it. But the fact is, no one wants to pay you shitloads of money for a fight they know you're going to win. They want to see you put it all on the line. Yeah, they want to see you bleed.
Okay, next question. How is it going with no coach? This is actually a question that I do have for you. You have no coach.
Yeah,
Why is this?
I just don't have a coach to teach me. There's no one who's going to teach me. Basically, I could ask. Like, there's like.
How did you put yourself into the level that you are now?
I just watch YouTube videos and
More
BJ
specific,
Fanatics
like-
videos,
okay,
and I train them, and I don't take breaks off training, and I basically train all the time, and I try new stuff all the time, and basically you just have to take control of your own training. It's not even a bad way of going about it, because realistically all the coach is there for is like, so the coach would be there for accountability, but also technical.
Guidance.
Yeah, technical guidance. So, but you can get technical guidance online, and then accountability. As long as you just like know that you're a piece of shit for missing training, then that's enough.
The shame factor. Which
Yeah,
we
the
spoke about
shame.
last
Yeah,
week.
this one is personal shame though. Like weights, I wouldn't be personally shamed for missing it, but I would be ashamed. I would be shameful in the eyes of someone else. But jiu-jitsu, I would personally be ashamed if I missed a session for just laziness or whatever, or yeah.
Can you just go through like like 5 of your top YouTube and BJJ Fanatics videos that you'd watch?
Find a guy whose style you like and just copy it. So for example, I watched Eddie Cummings, Gordon Ryan, Ethan Credenston. I watched some of Gary Turner, but I found him kind of hard to emulate because a lot of it was like pretty like entertainment-based stuff. Who else? I like Mikey Musumeci, just the Barambolos, Lachlan Giles, Craig, obviously.
Yeah. Submeta is sick. I signed up to Submeta. I try and watch that quite a bit.
Levi Jones, Leary. Basically, anyone who's on the top shows is worth giving a watch. And if you see anything special that they're doing, it's definitely worth watching them. Like William Tackett as well. Everyone's got their little bit. So yeah, if you're not watching someone, basically they would be able to catch you with some bullshit.
I guess this is a bit more of a technical question as well. Like when you're watching like an instructional, like what specific cues and stuff are you looking for?
If I'm watching an instructional, it's kind of like normally the instructionals are like 5 to 8 hours.
Dude, they can be so boring. How do you get past that? What do you take?
Yeah, you just have to, you can't watch 5 to 8 hours in a row. Like even like a Netflix show, you wouldn't watch 5 to 8 hours in a row necessarily. You'd have to, yeah, you could, but you'd feel bad afterwards. Yeah, and you wouldn't necessarily remember the first 4 hours. So for me, stuff like that, you just have to do like an hour or something, or maybe even watch 2 hours and then realize that you didn't really take in half of that, and then watch like another half an hour of the first bit again, and then go and train it, and then go back, and so on. So like a DVD should be like 3 or 4 months of work on a DVD.
Okay, so like watch a bit, go draw that, implement that.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Does this work for me?
Yeah, exactly.
Attack it again.
Yeah, exactly. And then you got to also, once you think you get a move, you have to go back and really check that you actually get the move, because half the time you think you've got it and then you try it and it doesn't work. You need to actually make sure that you've got every bit of it and revisit it.
So say like you may be hitting a move like on Christian Osbach, and just smashing him.
And it's just working every time.
It's working every time. But then when you go and try it on like a real jiu-jitsu athlete, like
Charles Price, yeah.
Like me, it's like, oh, this doesn't work as well. Yeah. And you need to change a few things.
Yeah. And it's like body mechanics. Like it can look the same, but it needs to feel the same as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got to make sure that you're feeling every little bit of the move. Like you don't just have an arm randomly there and you're like, what's my arm doing? Oh, you don't really need this arm. Well, clearly you're going to need the arm.
It's building muscle mind connection, like that awareness in space.
Yeah, you should be able to do the moves like eyes closed and all that kind of stuff ideally.
Yeah.
Just so you can kind of feel what you're doing rather than try and remember it. That's a bit, if you're trying to remember it like a recipe, it's going to be way too late when you're sparring. It needs to be like, yeah, the mind-body connection and just feeling that things are going as they should for the move to continue how you're doing it.
Interesting.
Yeah, kind of like if you're doing a deadlift and you feel like you're back bending, I guess you should just let go of the weight. It's the same in jits. If you feel like you're fucking up the move, maybe don't just continue doing exactly the same thing. Try and switch, or if you have like contingency plans for moves, that's a good way.
Yeah. Try and transition to something else. So, okay, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to work. I need to go for something else.
Yeah, and that's like comes from basically recognizing quickly and feeling that it's not how it feels when it goes correctly. So you have to get a good feeling of what a proper move looks like, and then once you know what the proper move feels like, if it doesn't feel like that when you're sparring, then you're like, got some adjustment to do before I, bridge or whatever.
Yes.
For example, yeah. That's for finishing everything.
Yeah. I've actually got a question for nutrition for you. What are some ways that you optimize your nutrition in order to gain weight? So when what weight did you start? You started like 80 kgs ish.
Yeah, something like that.
What did you do to optimize everything to get to the point that you're at now?
You just have to spend money on food at every opportunity that you can.
More specific.
So every time I eat, I want to eat at least 20 grams of protein.
At least.
Yeah, basically at least 20 grams. If it's less, then I probably wouldn't even bother. Yep. Or I'll just have some like sugary crap basically. But
for cows.
Yeah, for the cows, yeah. But basically each time I do any sort of moving, I will eat in between that, i.e. for example, before I come here, I'll eat and then do this session and ideally eat after the session, then cycle home and then eat, and those will all be minor meals to make up for the space between the bigger meals.
Yeah.
So you just have to constantly be eating and like...
That Ronnie Coleman effect, man.
Yeah, exactly. It's half the battle is just
eating the oats, just...
sweating at home, eating big meals.
But that's what it takes, man. That's what it takes to gain weight. Some people don't understand. It's like, bro, like every single meal you have, where's the protein at? Or it's like calorie density. Yeah. Like recently you asked, like you were talking about this how can you get more calorie density out of your meals?
Yeah, without feeling sick though, that's another thing.
Yeah.
Very sickly sometimes, and also eating like huge amounts in one go, then meals start to become daunting and you're like, I can't put myself through this again. Whereas now I'm switching to eating loads of meals that are less massive, and then say maybe like one massive meal a day.
Okay. What are some of these in between meals? Obviously they're going to change here and there, but like the general trend, what kind of like in between meals
Like
do you go for?
instead of like a big thing of yogurt, just like anything with protein. So yeah, big thing of yogurt, even if it's like a milkshake or something, at least I just put loads of milk in it and ice cream and stuff.
Yeah, you're going to get protein the cows in.
Like random sandwiches as well when I'm out and about.
Easy 20 grams of protein.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just make sure that and not like full meals. I would call like a sandwich is like a quarter of a meal or a third of like a big
calories.
meal. Yeah. So
let's also preface to the point that you did some tracking earlier on, so you had a good so you had a good idea of how many calories you needed to eat.
Yeah. Once you get a feel for it, it's easier. Once you go like
you're at like 4,000 or 5,000 calories a day. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying. That's the thing. Like sometimes I know that it's not there, and sometimes I know. Sometimes like, damn, I'm on like a 1.5 or 2K day, and you just gotta have a milkshake or something, or even if you don't feel like eating. I don't know. Sometimes like
it's not gonna be perfect every day.
Yeah.
But as long as like collectively you think of like the weekly total, it's like okay, today wasn't perfect, but I know that I can make up these calories for the rest of the week to either maintain weight or gain weight.
Yeah.
So like say like today was 2.5 cows.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm like 2.5 under, like 2 to 2.5 under.
Yeah, I'll go and
I
have a
know
big
that throughout
meal.
the week I can add that back in through like whatever like ice cream.
What's like Deliveroo at like midnight and just get a fucking pizza and destroy it and get a side and get a dessert.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like it's much easier to eat when it's like midnight
Tasty.
binging and
Yeah.
Because sometimes you have dinner, like all I'll eat. Let's say, for example, today I woke up, I went and got like a pizza wallet or whatever, and a coffee. Went and trained here, had a protein shake. I would say this is like, and now it's pushing like 2 something p.m. Like I would need to go now and go and get like a big fucking meal, and then after that I'd need to wait for a bit, eat another little thing, and then another big fucking meal later, and then maybe another big fucking meal at like 1 a.m.
You also had that shake to offset that as well.
Yeah, but that's still like it's not the same. No, exactly.
You're still getting the protein there.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, like if you want to optimize your protein intake, ideally like every like 3 to 4 hours, because you have like what will happen is you have protein, and then you have like what's called a refractory period where the proteins will start to go into like a breakdown.
Yeah.
So like each time you have protein, you spike muscle protein synthesis, which is like grow, repair muscle tissue. And then over that like 3 to 4 hour, that's going to start to come down. That's actually when you want to hit that again. If you just keep overloading in protein all fucking day, it's actually like that's not the right way to do it. Every 3 to 4 hours, just as it comes down, boom, hit it again.
Yeah.
Boom, hit it again.
So yeah, even when you've just eaten, you should still be thinking about the next meal.
Yeah, constant.
Just become a fat fucking pig. All right.
Next question. Let's start wrapping it up, man. I think
All right, let's do last 3 ASAP. Favorite escape from side control?
we went over this recently, but you take that one away.
Yeah, I like, rather than just bench pressing people, trying to push them north of you and getting the knees in, basically curling up in a ball as tight as possible, trying to get your knees in front of their shoulders and then inverting to face them again. Yeah. So yeah, some sort of knee elbow connection, and then make that knee elbow connection point at them.
And what about that frame? Say they're really pinning you. We went over it last time. They're actually like getting that frame in.
Yeah. So if you feel like you're actually crushed and you can't move, you want to give up a bit of back exposure to be able to escape a bit quicker if there's time. But otherwise, if they're just crushing you and not doing anything, then you can take your time and then start to just slowly turn to face them. But if there's time on the clock, you need to escape quickly, then I would start thinking about riskier ways of escaping.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next question.
How many weeks for preparing for competition? Well, I'll just stay ready for competitions, I think.
That's the thing. Like say like a lot of the jiu-jitsu athletes I train, they're competing all the time. I don't think like young Wesley. Like he's got young Owen Jones. He's got a competition like almost every fucking like 2 weeks. It's just like he said, it's like mate, just come in and start lifting weights. Like work on your technique. Like you're still gonna get gains. We're gonna make sure you're not getting that sore. Just like stay ready for competitions. The thing with jiu-jitsu, there's no particular seasons to do things. Some people do. They'll be like, oh well, I'm just gonna do worlds and Europeans. Maybe you can prepare more for that. But from someone who's trying to do like every month or 2 a month or something, just stay in good shape. Be consistent with your training.
I don't know about the value of doing competitions like every week, unless you're doing it for money.
Every week, whoa.
But yeah, it's just like it's good for experience, but after you're used to competing, like what are you actually achieving by just doing random competitions in terms of like improving jiu-jitsu? Maybe if you're making money though, that's like, if it's every week you're just winning a money competition, then go ahead,
fine,
make your money. But if you're just doing it for experience and training, you may as well just go to the gym. You probably get harder rounds in the gym. So there's no point competing like every week. I feel like just basically stay on top of it. But yeah,
once a month.
Yeah, that would be nice. Once a month would be like the perfect amount. But again, even that is like, it's fucking long to book. Basically, yeah. Once a month is good though. I probably don't compete enough just in terms of like, I just hate traveling to like random fucking places like Brighton at 3 a.m. Just dead. You're having a bad time.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, cool.
Optimal nutrition.
Well, I already asked you that question.
There you go.
I already asked that question.
All right then.
I feel like there's a pretty...
Yeah.
We answered some questions. We're going to have some more questions next week.
Nice.
I found this podcast helpful.
We left the other questions out as well. Like there's one about man's nipples. I think men had nipples because back in the day they used to breastfeed. Just watch that actual Joe Rogan podcast if you want to know these questions.
What was the question?
The question was, why do men have nipples? The question was, what you're talking shit. Why do men have nipples?
Look like a 50-year-old skateboarder.
Why do men have nipples? Because apparently they used to breastfeed and then the men stopped hanging around for the children, so they slowly lost their ability to breastfeed.
Is this facts?
I don't know. And there's one about goat shit, but we'll leave that out.
No.
No, that'll do.
All right. Well,
all right.
Logan, great to see you.
Great. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, that pleasure.